Hey everyone, I am back. Hopefully, going to have a series on the Jeep that I have been working on. Well, that I was working on a long time ago. It hasn't changed in 13 years, and I've decided it's about time I get this project done. I had a lot of other things to do. I actually was building this garage that we're in right now, and house remodel stuff, you know how it goes. Life happens, I guess. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I've got to scuff out the roof up here, and the back of the truck I still have to scuff. And the hood looks like it's pretty much ready to go. I've got to scuff my door jambs. I've got to scuff the door and get rid of some of that rust that's coming through. But I've got all my primer and everything to go ahead and get this shot hopefully tomorrow. So I've got a lot of work to do, and I better go ahead and get started. So I'm prepping the underside of the hood. I don't really know what this is. If anyone knows, comment. It's almost like a black tar, and maybe it was some kind of a insulation that they had underneath here, but man, it is really tough to sand off of here. It's like concrete or some sort of epoxy or something, but it's all in between these. I got most of it, but it's been tough. So I got the Jeep almost entirely prepped. I've got like grease down here. I need to degrease that. I don't want to contaminate anything else, but I got the passenger side door jamb prepped, and I just have the driver's side to do, and the back right here, and kind of around that window a little bit more. So anyway, and I got this bed off of the back so I can get in and work on it a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to prime today. I might try and prime the back side of the hood today. This is kind of funny. So this was originally my dad's Jeep, and then he gave it to my uncle, and then my uncle was restoring it. So last night I was able to get some paint on this hood. You can tell I got it on a lot heavier here than on this side. I'm just using a cheap Harbor Freight paint gun because I don't want to run that epoxy primer through my good gun. And so then I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and shoot the other primer through it too, and it just did not want to lay out very well with that cheap gun. I don't know, I'm still going to shoot the Jeep in it, but I'm going to mess with the settings. So today I need to fix, I've got these elongated holes here. That was originally for some kind of a bumper, like rubber thing that went on the front. They're kind of ugly, I thought, so I'm gonna go ahead and weld those up and get those taken care of. And then on the Jeep, I've got some mirror holes that I need to weld up, because I'm not going to go with the factory mirrors on this. I'm going to find something different. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on sanding on that. I'm just editing a lot of the sanding short because nobody wants to watch anyone sand. It's boring. I don't even want to do it. I don't want to watch anyone do it either. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then hopefully today, if things go right, I'll still be able to get this in primer. So yesterday, I went ahead and primed the hood, or 2 days ago it was now, and started sanding it out. And I'm using the epoxy primer by Eastwood, and then I'm also using the urethane primer on top of that. And I didn't even really put it down that heavy, but remember I was talking about that glue that was down inside of here, and I couldn't get it up. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm not going for a show car, I'll just shoot over it. We'll see what it does. This stuff builds up so well. I mean, you could probably hit that with primer one more time and it'd fill everything. But the hood turned out pretty good so far. The bumper, it must be aluminum, because I couldn't get any magnets to stick to it, and it's light, so I'm sure it's not stainless steel. So I had to cut out some pieces of metal and JB weld them in there. I hate doing that stuff. I'd rather weld it, but I think it'll work. I need to remember what I'm doing here. I'm not building a show car. So I got this all prepped. Inside the doors are all prepped. I still need to weld up my holes here. I'll probably do that today and get those ground down. I'm going to try and start taping it off here soon. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks I'll be ready to shoot this in some paint. All right, I am finally starting to get somewhere on this project. It's been about a week since I started the video, and I'm getting everything kind of taped up and just kind of going over, buffing out a few more spots, just trying to make sure that things are ready to go. Had a few minor changes on like the wing windows, for instance. I wasn't going to paint the chrome, but my uncle back in the day painted the chrome on the other side, and I couldn't get it off without damaging the chrome, so I decided, well, I'm gonna have to scuff up this side and then just go ahead and paint it on this side as well. And then on the inside of the door, I was planning on just jamming or just taping off the jamb here. And the paint looked like it was pretty decent on the passenger side. And now, then I come around and I start taping off this side, and this side had a bunch of brown from the previous paint coming through. And well, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and tape off just the door panel. It is definitely up for debate whether it is easier to just disassemble the entire door and take it off and paint it separately, or tape the entire thing off. I have got so much time in taping off these doors, it's ridiculous. Then I've got my little bars put in where those slots were, and I was talking about the cowl here, but the one that I was talking about earlier had all the runs in it, and it was actually black. This one I found in the attic, and it's a lot cleaner. I don't have all the rust. There's a bunch of rust kind of coming through. I wasn't too worried about it, but this one's a lot nicer, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with this. So the goal is today I am going to hopefully finally get this thing in primer today. It's 8 o'clock now, and I'm hoping that by 3 I should be able to start getting this thing primered and ready to go. The only thing I really have left that I need to tape off is this engine compartment. And I'm not going to do anything fancy in here, at least not right now. It's going to happen, just not yet. I've got a whole mess of wiring I got to take care of and everything, but I just want to get this thing in some paint. All right, I'll let you know how it goes. So apparently my video turned off while I was priming the Jeep. It's been a week ago now. I've actually done quite a bit of work to it. Since then, I repaired a bunch back here. Not a ton back behind the cab because nobody's going to see that anyway. I'm not going to waste my time with it. But this door needed a little bit of work. The other door was pretty good. This fender was pretty good. There's a little bit up here that needed work. But anyway, just figured I'd give you a walk around so you can kind of see everything. So I shot this in the Eastwood epoxy primer sealer, and I shot that with a 1.7 tip. It was way too big for that. I should have used like a 1.3, 1.4. And then I used a 2K epoxy urethane, or sorry, not an epoxy, but a urethane primer. And it was a high build primer. I used a 1.7 on it, and it laid down pretty good. So if you end up using those, I would recommend going with a pretty small tip on the epoxy primer. So if I get any questions on this, as far as like, well, why aren't you doing this? How come you aren't making this a little bit nicer here? I'm just going to show you. It's hard to find parts for these old Jeeps. You know, if you look in here, there's some significant damage up inside. You know, it's just, I'm never going to make this thing perfect. And I'm just trying to make it so I can enjoy it rather than it just sit in the garage. It's been sitting in my garage for, at this house, 13 years. And I bought it, I don't know, gosh, probably 5 years before that from my uncle. And he's since passed away. So now I'm just trying to get it done. You know, maybe I can drive it. This motor was built from a machine shop in Blair, Nebraska, Charlie's Speed Machine, and it's a Chevy 350, but I bet it's got 6 miles on it, and the transmission's probably got 3 miles on it, and that's since 1996, maybe 97. So it's time to get this thing back on the road. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and end the videos here. I've got a lot of editing to do because I was an idiot and I recorded this on 2 different devices. So I've got to figure out all the order that all that's going to be in. But anyway, go ahead and stay tuned. Look for part 2. Hopefully in part 2, I'm going to be wet sanding a little bit. I'm not going to try and bore you guys with a bunch of sanding, but I plan to be getting this into some sort of paint here, probably within the next few weeks. So stay tuned.